Hello and welcome to another episode of Just Wing It with KSP RP-2. So it's time for some decision making. We have 2 years and some change to finish the early rocket development program. And for that we need to do these two contracts. We already have access to the 3,000 kilometer one, and I think that unlocks the 4,500 kilometer one. All the contracts with sounding rocket payloads, they are not like the explain ones that you have to do a certain number before you unlock something else and then they are no longer available. You can keep doing it them as long as you want to farm reputation, which we are still lacking. But I think you do get some reputation for finishing a program earlier, which I don't know if we'll be able to do. So there's two things. Yeah, if you finish a contract early, you don't get the rest of the money. So if we finish by the 5th year, we won't get these 42,000 funds. But that would free the program slot for the next one because we don't yet have enough money to upgrade the administration building. And we have a lot of confidence, so we can actually go for the fast, which gives us 56,000 a year instead of 42. So it would be a nice way to increase our funds, even if we're missing out on the of these 42 funds in the end. And I think also I am not sure where it was implied that finishing a program early you get extra reputation, so it might be good. We're almost in the positive finally. And that's the other thing. The most lucrative contracts reputation wise are the ones with sounding rocket payload, which are also the least risky ones because there's no Kerbals involved, so we can't kill anybody, which is always a plus. So I have accepted one more of these, 37 reputation. So yeah, that's compared to 29 if we land on the runway. And all of these records are okay. Wait, what? Oh, yes. So this one is quite hefty, but it's have to stay in orbit in 1 day for one entire day, so not really within our technological grasp at the moment, as well as this. But yeah, all the others are in the single digits, so they're not very lucrative. So yeah, we have the downrange distance, and we have the another X-Play Supersonic, which this one we will be able to get the I'm blanking out here. Supersonic Science, yes, because this one we will have to be above 450 meters per second. I did have to add a little bit of more fuel capacity to the airplane, but that's not an issue. It just means we'll be slightly heavier at takeoff. So yeah, that's the situation, and we are. I think. Yes. So we are. I think this was just a change for the adding extra fuel, and we already trained at Kerbal, I think. Astronauts. I think it was Lieselot. Yes, mission training. Okay, so looks like we're flying again. An airplane. I'll just show the highlights. Won't follow like the entire mission. Well, I always cut some parts, but still. I'll see how I edit this to not make it too long. See you in the runway. Okay, here we are on the runway. And I just need to check something first because I did install the navigation aid Uh, doesn't look like we will need it today because it's looks quite clear. But still, oh yes, I have to do this from outside. Um, Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it always keeps the runway. Really? That's so basically the only runway this has is the one at the Kerbal Space Center in Kerbin, which is doesn't match the coordinates for any runway we have in a real solar system. So you have to create your own, but um, I have to see to check how to make it like persist through like different times that you open up the game because I don't want to do this every time. Mera, is it double O or just one O? I don't remember. We want a heading of 90. Uh, Auto. And we want markers. Oh, okay. Uh, let's get rid of this. Okay, so I just wanted to show that we have that, but I didn't expect to have to actually do this. So flight plan. We will take off, head off east for a little bit while climbing, then turn around, do a U-turn to head west. Um, at around 13,000 meters, we'll count the engines, and the moment we complete uh, the contract, we'll turn around to land. We won't have that much fuel. Yes, the experiment is already set up, so let's go. Ah, yes, staging might be useful. I have the doubt on whether I turned on atmospheric autopilot on or not, which is a horrible doubt to have at this moment. But I'm pretty sure I did. Yes. Oh, oh. Okay. Okay. We're good. We're good. So one thing I noticed, and that was part of the problem, this burn time is usually at full throttle. However, this engine has an afterburner. Here we have like core throttle and then afterburner throttle. And so yeah, you see, even though we're at 64% throttle, this is at 96%. So yeah, there's no separate throttle for the afterburner. It just kicks in after a certain point. And I think this time is only for uh, like core throttle. So we were engaging the afterburner to get all the speed contracts, and that meant this was draining a lot faster than it was supposed to, or that I was led to believe is probably the better choice of words there. Uh, let's retract the flaps. Okay, I'll come back when we're at altitude. Okay, we're at 12,000 meters. I think that should be good enough. Let's hit it. Afterburner engaged, full throttle. And let's mind our vertical speed. I do want to be going up, but just ever so slightly. There. Okay, so experiment is running. We are in the threshold. And actually, let's no, let's not lose this. Let's put it so that we're slightly increasing our speed. There. Okay. Because I want to conserve fuel and I don't want to get too far from the space center for the same reason. I did add like 6 minutes of extra fuel, which, given that I'm still spending the same amount of time in Afterburner as with my test mission, those should still be 6 minutes, or probably a bit more, because of I go like at 50% throttle on the way back. So it should be more than enough, but still, let's try to conserve fuel. Okay, we are almost there, and looks like we'll have a bit over 60 minutes left in the science experiment. Complete. Let's throttle back. Let's go to 40%. Ish. No need to be precise. Let's start heading southeast and turn this on. We can get rid of this. And yeah, so in theory with this thing, you could land like completely by instruments. Well, not just this particular instrument, but also the instruments that I have down here, which I just noticed when I was practicing that we have a lot of compasses. We have a compass here, a compass here, a compass here. I have no idea why. What's the difference between all of them? And anyway, so you see here we have like this line that represents the runway, and this is like the if we were to head east, which is in the direction we need to land, we would be displaced from the one runway by this amount. So we want to have this lined up with these two purple ones at the ends, and then head east. And around there. So we can, let's just get there, and then we'll fine tune it when we start to get close. We're heading a little bit to the north though. Let's see, yes. It also guides you on the glide slope, which is the angle at which you're going down. I don't know exactly at what point an arrow appears here, and if it's below this line, then it means you're too high, and if it's above, it means you're too low. At some point, it should kick in. There we go. We're too low. Don't ask me why above means it's too low. I have no clue. But that's what the tutorial said. Oh yeah, I just noticed. So this is actually our distance in kilometers to the runway, so we are quite far off. We were going like at Mach 1.3 around-ish, 1.2, 1.3 for 3 minutes. So yeah, we did get quite a distance. So it will be a bit of a slow, leisurely return. Okay, these arrows have started to go down, so it means we will soon start our descent. Let's throttle back a little bit more. and extend the first level of flaps. Okay, I can see the space center. It's just under the prograde vector. And yes, which means we're a bit high. So I'll just keep this on to see how the glide slope is going, but at this point it is no longer so necessary. Let's check everything. We're at full flaps, no, level 2. It also warns you at certain distances, but I already forgot which ones, so that's not going to be very useful. I know the last one is 200 meters. So basically it's like, yeah, if you're not ready to land, pull up, because you're landing otherwise. Okay, there's a first marker. Let's switch to the outside view. I don't want to land from the cockpit. Our reputation is already on the line. We need to pull up. Okay, at this point, this is... Yeah, the glide slope thing just does actually help go for a smoother landing. It'll probably be more useful once I can actually follow what it's telling me, but yeah, I feel it helped. Okay, successful mission. Let's go back to the Space Center. Okay, we're getting closer to the positives here. I do want to... No, that's not what I wanted to see. For some reason, Lislot just... her retirement date doesn't increase as much as the other ones. I don't know if that's because of a hidden trait or what. Now we did get some science, that's good. And let's see just what's the next available one. Okay, 500 meters per second and 550 meters per second in level flight. Everything else is the same. I haven't tried reaching 500 meters per second with this plane. I'm not sure if we're able to, or if we have... Well, we can still add more fuel, but... yeah, I'm not sure. That will require some testing. But either way... It's a series of 5 contracts, so... I'll see, because I want to go back to the rocket planes. These ones that they are like numbered with a series of 5 contracts, and series of 2 contracts, I do want to do all of them, get as much reputation as possible. And they also grant confidence. I don't know why this one doesn't. Or this one. Yeah, actually. Uh, not all of them do. Okay, so yeah, again, one airplane mission, one sounded rocket payload mission, but let's just. I'll try to keep it short again, as always, just the highlights, and hopefully we can get a third mission in this episode. So I'll see, even if I have to record it again in multiple days. Okay, rolling things out. I do find this a little bit weird. So when we finished that mission, uh, we had a 60 something days left for building the sounding rocket, and we finished that before rolling back the airplane in. Now I know this rollback thing also includes like maintenance, but that's, I think in total it was like 80 days for rolling back and maintenance. That's quite a lot. I do have the hangar with basically a skeleton crew, just 10. Oh, I thought had 5. So 10 engineers out of 52. And I know like these airplanes are like cutting edge technology in theory, but really, 82 days to roll back and check that everything is fine for 10 engineers. I mean, weren't aircraft carriers in the which was the uh, Korean War, the Vietnam War, which one was happening at this time? Weren't they launching like 20 of these planes daily? So yeah, it seems a bit weird. Not that I want to do these missions more frequently. I'm fine with this pace. It's just weird. Okay, done. Mission for today. Let's check our contract. We do have enough payload. Yes. Now, what I am interested in is getting data units for the U-2000 particularly, because the rockets for 3,000 and 4,500 kilometers are going to have 6 of those engines, if I remember correctly. So a lot of chances for failure. Yeah, that was another reason why I thought like maybe it was good to continue doing these contracts. You farm not only reputation but also reliability on the engines. But no, I think it's time to close this program if we can. It'll probably take a few tries. Ah, yes, I have this that it costs to 60,000 meters, I think, just because it's the engine ignition is much more reliable there, that there's no high dynamic pressure. Perfect. Ignition in all 5 engines. And we actually didn't like drift so much. It's not tumbling around a lot. Okay, we got a lot of data units now because each engine is gathering them individually, I think it gets added up. So we might actually be at 10,000 for the next launch. Okay, we just passed apogee, and we are almost there. We're definitely getting there before we even reach the atmosphere again. So yeah, this is going to be a contract complete. I will follow this down until if it survives to 40,000 meters in altitude, just to get the temperature science. But I'll meet you back at the space center. So there we have it, 37 repetition, which almost gets us into the positive, and a lot of confidence, which we're swimming in now. Fortunately, we can't do much about it. Um, so, yes, I think it's time. We do have this, but also, so apparently the reward increases over time. Right now, if I accept this, it's only 29 reputation. So, yeah, it's time. We do need to have avionics. Now, let's talk about the rocket. So, one thing is that when I built the rocket that could get to 4500, it was using aluminum stringer tanks. I think that's how you pronounce it. That is in this node, and it's actually going quite slow because I don't have a lot of researchers. Um, I did overshoot the mark by a long shot, so I think if we go for the normal aluminum tanks, which we have access to, it should still be fine. For 4500, it should definitely be fine for 3000. Um, I'm going to test that just to make sure, but I think uh, I won't show you the test, and we'll just get back, like, we'll come back to when we are launching the actual mission. I won't launch any plane in the meantime, I think. Okay, we are back with the 3000 kilometer downrange milestone mission. So it's actually a few days since I recorded the previous part of this episode, but so I don't exactly remember what I said I was going to do because originally the next mission in queue was the rocket plane mission, but I really had to modify that because of the new engine and extra fuel. I needed to put the wings back, and at first that was the modification that was in queue. But then after testing it, I realized that the flaps were now too far away from the center of mass, and they were acting like horizontal stabilize. No, not the stabilizers, but the elevator. Yeah, that's the one. The elevator. The horizontal stabilizer is just the fixed one. So yeah, I needed to redistribute the wings on that aircraft. So anyway, uh, let's go with this. Where's I forgot to action group the terminal. Here it is. Okay, we have a good ignition. So I don't remember if I talked about this, but I actually have this hot staging for between the second and the third stage. So actually, the way I implemented this into the script is that thankfully the resources from Realism Overhaul are taken into account with KOS. So by the time the amount of kerosene on the second stage reaches, I think, 20 units, it will ignite the third stage engine, and that leaves less than a second of burn time for the second stage. And so then I just have it wait 1 second and then separate the third stage from the second stage. And I didn't do hot staging throughout because I'm having the rocket coast to 50 kilometers before igniting the second stage to avoid the high dynamic pressure area. Okay, so we did lose one engine and we're tumbling quite a bit, but we do have a good margin of error, so that shouldn't be too bad. Another way to implement hot staging is by using the stage time and just ignite the next engine 1 second before the stage runs out. But that doesn't work if we have engine failures because then it takes longer to go through the fuel. So if we lose all engines, then that's a problem. And obviously the increased burn time increases the chances of that happening. So let's see. Um, okay. It did not. Damn it. Well, staging is technically like a one of the things I allowed me to activate manually, but I don't know if we now lost the fuel uh, stability. Let's abort program. Okay, we have a good ignition. Oof, now this is bad. With me waiting for firing up the next engine, we actually went past apogee. So I don't know if we have enough to, and with all the tumbling and everything, yeah, we're not getting anywhere. Okay, so this is a failure. I'll have to build another one. And well, I guess the next mission will be the rocket plane because it won't take that long to do the modifications. Uh, but that will be for next time. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.